Motion by Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Tice. No questions, those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 5.2, discuss and consider target train 11, chapter 381, economic development program.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioner, this is an agreement that has been for approval today for target train 11. The statement proposal was by the court in January 5. Project's going to be built in target reinvestment zone number 2. Just to refresh the court's memory about the economic impact of this is $300 million fractionator. It's 150,000 barrel per day fractionator. The agreement embodies typical elements associated with infrastructure contributions. Targa is going to make two $500,000 infrastructure contributions, one in November of 25, one in November of 26. The net impact to the court is a 46% tax abatement, not including the CWIP. CIPC, the NPV calculation is about $255,000. The Chambers County School Equalization Fund will derive about $661,000. So the agreement is set forth for.
Questions? Motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Dagley. Here no questions, those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. 5.3, discuss and consider Chambers County Foreign Trade Zone policy. BJ.
Thank you, Judge. I think I have a presentation here.
And Kyle's getting it.
Very good. Just for the court's edification, there's been an uptick in interest in foreign trade zone policy, foreign trade zone designations in the county, particularly given the tariff environment that has emerged in the current administration. Judge Sylvia had asked that we give an update, background on foreign trade zone policy that the county has adopted. So to answer the question, what is a foreign trade zone? Essentially, it's a geographic carve-out that's provided for by the enabling legislation to facilitate or enhance international trade, if you will. So this carve-out provides, or this zone governed by the FTZ or federal FTZ board, which allows for elements that certain projects or products that are imported internationally or foreign imports into this designated zone, or for domestic products that are held in that zone, to be exempt from certain tariffs, duties, federal duties, and ad valorem tax. Since Texas is an inventory tax state, the certain goods are going to be held that would be held in FTZ qualify for reduced inventory tax. The United States has 294 FTZs. Texas has the most at 35. The FTZ board granted the FTZ 171 to the Liberty County Economic Development Corporation in 1991. All FTZ designations in the county fall under the purview of FTZ 171. Currently, there are 4 active FTZs in Chambers County. Lago Americas has one that was established in 2017, which is for Industrial Park. Access World and Quantix Airport Industrial Park. And then KTN has one building that's a designated at the Chambers County Logistics campus. Just to remind the court adopted policy related to FTZs back in 2021. Largely, the county has not or had not previously entered into any sort of pilot agreement related to FTZs, but in 2021, policy was changed to accommodate or effectuate FTZ pilot agreement. All the taxing entities that are affected are essentially held whole, not losing any sort of inventory revenue that would be derived as part of the use of an FTZ. Depending on the utility, how the user would be using the FTZ, tariffs could be deferred. If there are elements that are brought into an FTZ, material imported from nationally, as long as those materials do not leave out of the FTZ, impacted by foreign duty. I'm sorry. This is just simply a map of all the. Very busy. Essentially, just to illustrate, items that are imported or foreign entities that are held and exported out are not impacted by duty. Domestic items that come into foreign trade zone and are dispersed domestically will not be impacted by federal duties. You can hybrid them, you can use them for manufacturing, which is a competitive advantage for Chambers County. We have some applicants that are considering presenting for FTZ designation that simply importing feedstocks from international sources, using those feedstocks within a given zone. They're not going to be impacted by foreign tariffs, or tariffs or duties like. But essentially the ability for the county to be able to enter a pilot agreement based on their current policy. And so to close, the reasons that these are important to us is that for the users, if you go for a designated zone, there's reduced inventory tax for them. However, as noted in this one slide, the pilot agreements can be entered into to be able to receive 100% reimbursement, loss of tax revenue. FTZ 171, essentially school districts, taxing entities, improvement districts, or have been or will be into pilot agreements that revenue. The other competitive advantage is that, particularly for manufacturing, that for the growth, particularly current tariff environment, those entities who want to bring in products from foreign or international sources can use those materials and benefit from allowances that are provided related to not impacting any federal. That's a general overview. We can expect that there are going to be a number of FTZ applications if, in fact, the current tariff issues continue to emerge, and just want to be able to accommodate and provide the guidance to the court so that the court can make decisions related to letters of non-objection. Leverage that the court does have, if find the court just coincidentally, as in preparation for today's meeting, the Rivago FTZ letter of non-objection that was provided by the court was done in July 7th of 2017. So yesterday when I was preparing for this court, so this is an interesting thing. We had an email from Judge Sylvia that said that, hey, if we want to do this, let's do this, because Waller County was also competing for the project. We've come full circle on these projects related to FTZ. So I'd be glad to answer any other questions.
Questions? So this is like another tool in the tool chest for
Yes.
economic development.
That's correct.
Like a basement.
So do we have any of these active right now?
Yes.
We do have some.
Yes.
Not sure.
The Rivago, Rivago, Access World, KTN has one, or Chambers County Logistics Terminal has one. And Quantix, formerly known as A&R Logistics Airport.
Okay.
So just to close on the letter, the nuance that was included for the Rivago is that if in fact there's an amendable agreement, if the court does have current tax abatement agreement related to a foreign trade zone application, you can make that tie to amend a contract. If you, that's something to consider.
Okay. Thank you, Big J. No action on 5.3.
Just information sharing.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
All right.
All right, Sam, up there. 5.4, discuss and consider providing loan to Chambers County Youth Project Show in the amount of $399,900 to cover exhibitor payout and outstanding bills. Good morning, Sam.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good, are you?
I just would like to mention that while we're considering improvements, I personally would like a bar at the free drinks.
Half price,
Half price, I'll
Half
take
price.
it.
but no retirees. Just
After working for you guys, I think that we deserve that at the end of the day. Love y'all so much.
Good one.
Okay, so I wanted to, and I asked the judge if this was okay yesterday, and he said it was fine. Kind of go over a little update on YPS because we're in the process of wrapping everything up and getting checks out and all of that. So so I'm going to kind of go through some just odds and ends for you guys. So the 2025 total sale amount, and that includes auction, barn sale, and add-on donations was $1.2 million, so $1,255,889. That is an increase over last year's total of $184,168. Had a very, very large increase.
Good job.
Thank you. Every single category increased from last year, so our auction was higher, barn sale was higher, add-on donations were all higher. And we worked really hard on that. We really upped our marketing game and have gotten a lot of positive feedback from that. I know that we sent out about 300 letters to prospective buyers, and I know that that worked because one of our top 10 buyers is one of those people that we personally solicited. We had another one that we personally solicited come and spend $18,000. What we did worked, and we're really, really proud of that. And obviously, our goal is every year to increase that. I wanted to share with you guys that we had 570 individual livestock entries that were shown. So those are just the entries that were checked in at the day, at check-in at the show. We had 456 individual exhibit hall entries submitted. That does not include the school entries, which are probably double that. So we served about 2,000 kiddos at Youth Project Show this year, which is awesome. That also is an increase over last year by about 100 kids per category. So the show's growing, and we're really, really proud of that. I wanted to share with you guys our top 10 buyers this year were the Response Group, who spent right at $60,000 with us. Jerry's Seafood, Maverick International, Soggy Bottom Ranch, 1900 Feed, Cody and Robin Wilcox, Coastal Field Services, Blake and Brandy Turner, ARC Home Center and Lumber, and Eagle Point Homes. The Ranch Rodeo collected $63,250 in sponsorships, and we gave out just under $15,000 in awards, meaning buckles, banners, trophies, and plaques. So, and that the awards are all sponsored. So we do a lot for the kids, and I wanted to share some of their feedback with you guys. I'm going to read 4 quotes from kiddos. This is from a senior in Anahuac. Showing livestock has been a huge part of my life and has taught me responsibility, dedication, and hard work, qualities that will last a lifetime. Selling my projects has not only supported my next animals, but also helped me begin saving for college. After a record-breaking auction, I'm thankful to reinvest in what I love. With over 10 years in the ring, the lessons and memories from YPS will always stay with me and help shape the path ahead. The livestock industry is one that instills discipline in our young kids, each being the future of America. This is from a elementary school kid. YPS is about putting a lot of hard work into our projects to learn the most we can, understand what it means to be a showman, the values it takes to follow a project through to the finish, and ultimately what it means to be a role model and friend. Some of the best friendships are born from out of the barn, and this year my best friend got to experience just that. I'm proud of her and all she accomplished, but also myself. This year was hard not making the auction, but I learned a lot, and I'm ready to present again in 2026. Thank you, committee members, for all the months of work you each dedicate to making this one of the best shows to be a part of. This is another high school student. I believe she's a sophomore. Coming from a single mom household, I'm incredibly thankful for the support I've received. The funds I earned from the auction will go towards purchasing my next steer, with the remainder going to my college savings. I plan to attend Texas A&M University and pursue a degree in veterinary medicine. Every hour spent in the barn, every early morning and late night has been a step towards that goal. And then finally, this is a first-year showman who is 5 years old. I'm sure her mom helped her write this. Having a lamb has taught me responsibility. I had to take care of him every day by giving him water, feed, and walking him. I will use some of the money from selling my lamb to buy my next year's project and then save for college with the rest. I've learned a lot from YPS and cannot wait to learn more in the future. So, just in their own words, and maybe mom's words a little bit on that last one, what they've learned. So today we're here, that's kind of my final recap, to ask you guys to give us a quote-unquote loan to help us go ahead and get those checks out to kiddos. We've collected 63% already, which is amazing. We certainly were nowhere near 63% last year, 1 month after sending out invoices. Actually, it's been 3 weeks since we sent out invoices. Another reminder next month. But yeah, so we're asking you guys to let us borrow a little money temporarily until we can get 100% collected and pay you guys back. Thanks to Aaron and his team for helping us calculate this amount. We are asking for $399,718.20.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Tass. Hey, we need to make sure we target those that we get tax abatements.
So I
I
do
mean-
directly contact them. I've not had any success, but I'll get with BJ and see if he can maybe help me with that. I tried last year and this year and didn't have
I mean,
any
they get a
success.
big benefit. They need to, oh, yeah.
Yeah. We also, I kind of pay attention to court and see who came in and got benefits from working with the county. I will say, as far as my department goes, all of the people that we contract with for our grants are very supportive of YPS, and I'm very grateful for that. We do have the benefit of seeing them and saying, hey, guess what's coming up next month? So we certainly appreciate our vendors. But yeah, no, we definitely.
Yeah, maybe that's a letter from me and Tommy that goes in his precinct, me, Ryan, or Mark, or whoever.
Yep, that's a great idea. We
Yeah.
can definitely do that.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Any questions? Those in
No.
favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, Sam, last year we collected 90.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Okay.
No,
And
there
the
was no
things
dollar
that
left
I
behind.
actually had a phone call on this item. I just wanted, they weren't against it, they just wanted, typically.
Yeah,
They were confused
there's
by
a
the
little
item,
bit of
so,
confusion with us calling it a loan.
Exactly.
I don't know that there's another term that's a better name for it, but we did have a parent come in and ask us about it. He was like, so y'all have to get a loan? And we said, well, yes and no. I mean, we paid it back last year 100%, and we were earlier, I think, than historically ever done before paying it back 100%. And like I said, we're certainly way ahead of where we were last year at 63% collected.
Well, we do this strictly to make sure these kids,
Correct.
especially the ones that are going to college,
Absolutely.
prior to next month when they got
Yes.
their tuition, right?
Yes.
And we understand there's going to be late payers or some triples in, or
Mhm.
however that works on the books. So I
Yes.
explained that to this person, but I want to make sure I said it on court.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you for
a
clarifying.
loan is the proper
It is.
term.
It is. It's a 0% loan.
Yeah.
0 interest rate loan. And we pay it back as soon as we can. But yeah, last year we were 100% collected. We expect to be 100% collected this year. We did have to, towards the end, get help from the county attorney's office in making some of those collections. I think we had about 10 invoices. But that's the nice thing about the county kind of running the show, is that we have the weight of the county attorney's office behind us when we need to say, hey, it's been 6 months and you hadn't paid your bill yet.
You talking about how
to
big
pay this.
Dwayne is or what?
That's exactly what I said.
That's what I heard.
From a 5'10" woman to a 6'4" man. Yep.
So I really appreciate what y'all done with the show and how
Thank you.
it's so much smoother and things
Thank
go
you.
better and. Yeah,
We're
great job.
really passionate about it. Robbie and I we've already started on 26. I mean, when we're in the office, we start working on the next year. And not to toot our own horn, but we've gotten
Toot it.
calls from We've gotten calls from other local events and other livestock shows asking us what we're doing and why this is on fire the way it is. And it's not. I mean, we're working our butts off. I'm not going to say we're not, but it's the community that we have, and I just can't reiterate that enough. And when we talk to our exhibitors, we tell them all the time, you guys are so blessed to live here and have these businesses come out and spend tens of thousands of dollars on you guys. I can't afford to spend $1.2 million. It's the businesses in our county and the individuals too that are putting that money in those hands of those kiddos. But we're trying really hard to spotlight the ones that spend a lot of money with us, and we're just going to keep recruiting and doing everything we can. And like I tell you guys all the time, I can't promise you that I'm ever going to be perfect. I'm going to do my darndest, and that's about all I can do. And I will say again, I'll toot my own horn because I tell the judge all the time, if I don't, who will? $184,000 increase. That's pretty
Huge.
dang good. Yeah, that's
Excellent
insane.
job,
It
Sam.
it blows my mind. So
I judged YPS by how meltdown calls. Sure we did.
we had none until like
None.
last week. I almost cried one time, but I held it together.
Okay.
So I was really
Good
proud of
job.
myself.
All right, those in favor? Opposed, motion carried.
Great job, Sam.
5.5, discuss consider allocating $4,452.31 to cover 2025 Chambers County Youth Project Show Ranch Rodeo expenses.
Okay, so we had after all that great news, we had a little miscommunication. I was under the impression that the court 100% funded Ranch Rodeo and that all sponsorships collected went to the kids. And I was corrected, and that is not the case. So what I'm asking for is that you guys honor cover up for my mistake this year and pitch in $4,000. That's the difference. And then next year we can start fresh.
Yeah, there was some. I think I think I want to IPS discuss it there and try to work out any kind of things y'all
So
decide.
you'll have a number for the budget committee?
Yeah, so Sam did send some over during her budget. We have that. I think she's maybe resend it with some a little different, and then we'll send it to committee. And then maybe if that's what you guys want to do, for sure, we can make sure that.
So the goal is just to let the public know and the donors know that 100% of the funds go back to kids, right? It's not a net funds, it's a gross fund. That's the goal. And that's why we're making up this deal. We hope to make it.
Yes, if you guys support that, then that's what we'll do. And then, like Aaron said during budgeting, I did submit requesting, because my understanding in the past was that y'all did. And so,
Motion by Commissioner Ty,
Second, Joe.
second by Commissioner Dagley. Those in favor?
Alright,
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Sam.
love ya.
hey, before we move on, real quick, those same letters that you send out, can you send those out for TVE?
Can I send them out for
Yeah.
TVE?
Because we have, 60% of that TV show is our kids over there, so, and people lose, people don't get that information.
Yeah.
I reached out to some guys last year, and one of them sitting right here, he wasn't aware of that, and he stood right up, so,
Ryan did something good?
yes, sir, 100%, so. They, his group donated, $10,000 to
Great.
spend at TVE. I appreciate that.
Thank you, John.
So I think it's just them guys not knowing that. That's all it is.
Yes, sir. I'll do that.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you. All right, I promised Mary Beth I'd get to her. Mike, I'll get to you in a minute. Don't feel left out. All right, 14.1, discuss, consider approving the Texas Department of State Health Services notice to proceed with the partially funded public health emergency preparedness grant year 2 activities amount of $74,305. Good morning.
Morning. So there's no motion or anything that needs to happen to this today. I mean, you do have to accept the award. We've already sent this contract through court, but basically this is notice to. Some of you are aware, I know most of you are aware that, federal funding cuts have happened across the board. One of the things that I've always said to Commissioner Court is the one level funding grant that would never go away is the preparedness funding, because it comes from the feds. It was established after 9/11. This year now it's decreased a little bit. Let me back up. Word is they're going to fully fund these preparedness contracts, but right now they've only released 75% of the funds, which is what the state released. It's just a pass-through grant. We have been given indication that they're going to fund the remainder of the 25%. Some federalism is going on, so the feds are trying to shift some of this responsibility to states. And it just so happened that when all this was happening at the federal level, the states were currently in their budgeting period, and they just decided on some of these things not to pick up. And it's not just public health; it's across. There's lots of decrease in funding. For us, the main one is going to, is affecting the. We're not asking for any money today. It is about a $30,000 decrease. The main things that are funded out of the preparedness funding grant that we get, it's $105,000. I think we are getting $73,000. 50% of Kevin's salary is funded out of the preparedness grant funding, and it has since started in 2006. And that's been level funding and has not increased. And then the other remainder of his salary is funded out of the general fund. We're making plans for the 2026 budget, and have a meeting tomorrow too about some of these. But with that being said, that currently this started July the 1st, it ends next June the 30th. We have one more grant funding source that should cover all of this $5,000. If at that time, if that grant funding goes away 2 years early, then we'll come to court at that time. So Aaron's already saying no, you're done for.
Hey, 50% of the work, that's
50% work, yeah. So anyway, at this time, the county's always been really supportive of the preparedness, the hazards. Y'all seen that work in the EOC with all of our responses. And again, we just this is a heads up. All this chatter started about a month ago, and I talked to the judge, and several of y'all were included on email. I wanted to bring it to you today, that just to make you aware that this is a $30,000, and we're hopeful the next month we'll get a letter that says that here's the remainder of your 20.
Kevin?
Yeah, no, you guys know, so I will champion the program itself. Awareness has been around. I've been doing it since 2008, on here to change the county where I got here. Great program, and I need to, it's not necessarily, and there are some, I mean, Mary Beth have talked about, I knew this back when I first started at the state level, that it will say, hey, counties, local jurisdictions, aware that these fundings may go away. They have to step up, but I think it's that it's uneven. Fund it all the way through because it just, he saw it when I first came here. So the judge blamed me for bringing all the disasters when I came here. It's been disaster, response, and for years that basically by myself as a field coordinator, and then the big one came, big shortfall. Didn't have funding all across the board, and so now with the funding cuts, there are cuts, but program still needs to federal government on with it, or that the county takes it on by itself. It's like emergency.
And y'all do a great job with it. You know, good news is we have 091 funds that's what they're for, public health.
Thank you. And then there's a second fund that's a routine funding again that I said will never go away. It's called the CRI funding. We get that funding about $10,000 a year because we touch Harris County and the city of Houston. It's for preparedness activities because we're in that region. That is fully funded. That's not going away. And I would just kind of put a bug in your ear again with the World Cup next year. That's even more important. Work with their, not just,
Oh, yeah.
we'll feel that here.
All right, thank you all.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
No action on 14.1. 7.1, Mike, get the mic. 7.1, discuss, consider approving contract with Kirksey Architecture for architectural services for construction of the new East Annex in the amount of $290,095.
Yeah, Judge, we got, Commissioners, we got a preliminary contract proposal. This was dated May 29, 2025, proposal valid through June 30, 2025, and I haven't seen the update on either one of these.
So you want
Are they
to?
the same? Are they the same? Well, are they the same as the original proposal?
I don't know who got it.
We sent legal, as I don't know, they should have legal go with James Wayne, had something settled and everyone agreed to the contracts. So I don't know what you have in front of you.
Well, this is date May 29, and proposal valid through June 30 is the one I have. And I asked to see the other two yesterday.
I haven't seen anybody.
I mean, in all fairness, we should see what's being signed.
Go ahead and, we'll go ahead and
Table.
it,
Okay.
especially since I'm not here.
All right, let's table 7.1, 7.2, discuss, consider approving contract with Kirksey Architecture for architectural services for new construction, of the new Legion Hall, $153,995.
Same thing.
Same, table.
Yep.
7.3, discuss, consider approving deductive change order for emergency services warehouse renovation.
Yeah, I believe Roy probably put a little cart before the horse, but this needs to be approved. This is basically the decreased change order, deductive change order 26,148. I want to make sure it's noted Roy McKee did a great job with those guys.
Very much.
Remove.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Tice. Any questions? In favor? Opposed, motion carries. Zach, are you waiting patiently? All right. 4.1, discuss, consider going out bid for chip sealing precinct 1 roadways rehabilitation of Dornbos Road. Zach.
Yeah,
So this is kind of something that Gore and myself and Corey have been working on. We're going to be using a contractor to help speed up the process of redoing some of these roadways. We're going to see what it's going to cost us. That's talking about the chip sealing of precinct 1 roadways. Then Dornbos, we're going to be rehabilitating the road.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Dagley. Questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 4.2, discuss consider going out for bid on expansion of McCollum Park.
So this is going to be for the first phase of the McCollum Park expansion. Going to be consisting of the parking lot and the roadway.
Motion by Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Tice. Questions?
So is there any schematics of that, how that's laid out?
Yes, so that
I haven't seen it.
we do have layouts.
Wasn't
We'll
it
get it to you.
package?
Yeah, it'll be a bid packet before it goes out. I can get it.
Oh, we're going out for bid.
Yeah, we're just going out for bid on this. There's nothing.
All of it.
All right, those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Zach. Close that one right there. I won't forget you, Dwayne.
Some might have gold laid.
Saving the
on
best
trail
for
or something
last.
on there.
Collin Park, well, that's near me, so yeah.
All right,
We're not on
10.1,
that item.
discuss and consider a countywide emergency services study with the Emergency Services Solutions LLC in the amount of 21.5.
Good morning. So this is something we were looking at as an overall planning strategy. It'll be one of those comprehensive things that looks at a lot of different factors, conducted by a professional company that specializes in this type of a thing. They'll provide us recommendations, reports, and a science and data behind our emergency services situation in Chambers County, and kind of give us guidance there. Very good information for us to obtain.
Motion by Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Tice. Questions?
So this will kind of help us, I know we've been collecting some data on response, percentages and times and all that, so this will help us maybe understand that better.
Exactly. That
Possibly look, there's some possibility for maybe some consolidation, or I know we have several firehouses all across the county. I mean, so this would help us understand if it makes sense to maybe try to consolidate some of them and
right.
help improve percentage calls.
Right.
And timing and things into the future. Maybe somehow some of those houses are staffed part of the time or not. And
right.
some of those thoughts.
Right. So the company conducting it, they don't have a dog in the hunt, so to speak. So they're looking at it, objectively from up here as an overall process.
So it's just fire, or is it fire and EMS?
It's both. It's everything. Figured, hey, that'll be good data for us to know. Since you mentioned EMS, so do we need to plan on improving something according to response rates in that regard, as far as the services that county directly provides? That'll provide us information.
Yeah. Ryan was in a meeting with myself, with the city of Baytown chief, on similar questions about how they cover the west side of the county and the West Chambers County area, with respect to how Mont Bellevue covers kind of that Walmart 146 corridor. Is it more efficient potentially to have Pinehurst Station 6, I believe, cover that area for response times in other areas? So there's a lot of things this study is going to help us look at.
Right.
And to be beneficial as a whole to have.
Yeah.
Especially how they service the industrial district.
And at the end of the day, it's about what do we need to be doing for the citizens to get the service they need, and that's, to me, that's the overall focus.
And how do we plan for the future?
Right, and how we plan for the future, and make sure we're serving the citizens' need. If we make decisions based on someone in different areas has a suggestion, I think we're kind of spinning our wheels, may not be having an overall bird's eye view.
Yeah, we need a study for sure. So
I agree.
All right, got a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 10-2. Discuss and consider soliciting bids for concrete work at Beach City VFD. Are you sure?
Positive.
First by Commissioner Dagley, second by.
Those are the kind of items I like. I don't have to.
That was,
We've talked about it several times.
that was nice, the fire chief go to me.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, no, he's very appreciative.
And
You don't hear that very often.
And Chief Clark's concerns are the same as Chief McDonald's, the same issues, and hopefully we'll alleviate them.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ron.
And
Thank you.
for that this morning.
You're welcome.
All
Sorry,
right,
I was out of breath. I ran as fast as I could to get down here. And,
You did good.
okay, I appreciate it.
2.1, discuss and consider approving Hay, Wittenberg, Davis, Caldwell, and Bell engagement letter agreement for legal services related to county school land in Crockett County, Texas. Counselor.
Yes, Judge, this is the law firm that will be working with the county or will be working for the county as far as making certain we can try to get the school lands area cleaned up with some of the oil field waste that is there. And knowing that legal services expenses can kind of fluctuate, I made certain that within that letter that that they're only going to be focusing on the demand letter. If anything has to lead to further litigation, or if they have to consult experts, anything that would increase more cost, they would come back to the county to get approval. So right now it's just going to be getting the demand letter out, and then moving forward, we're contacting the oil field and also contacting environmental to make certain that the state knows. I know the last time they were made aware that was some years ago.
So
We did one years ago.
Railroad Commission.
I can't remember, Dwayne has a manual that prepared years ago that back in, I don't even remember when. Did that once before, but it helped a little bit. This will really make a big difference.
So you have any kind of idea about the amount?
Their associate who's going to be working on it, he's going to be charging about $3.50 an hour. So I haven't gotten an estimate as to how much, how long that would take. I don't imagine it's going to be something that's going to be more than 10 hours. I think it's something that'll be pretty reasonable. To draft a letter, send it out, contact the Railroad Commission. I'm pretty sure that's going to be 5 hour, 6 hour.
So if we prove up to 3,500,
I
this
think
initial?
yes, that would be considered a retainer fee, and then if they need more, then they can always contact that court.
Got a motion by Commissioner Todd.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hammond. Any other questions, comments? Those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Thank you, Dwayne.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we under consent. I think I got everything else done. Precinct 3, we're gonna.
All right. No questions.
2, 4. Any motion?
I move, Judge. Second.
First by Commissioner Todd, second by Commissioner Hammond. Those said in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. It's now 11:44 a.m. And we'll go to executive session, discuss and consider personnel issues, sell purchase of real property, FMLA extensions at 11:44 a.m. We'll recess to.
Do you have anything, Your Honor?
Alright, 12:39 PM, we're going back into, we've recessed out of executive session, going back into regular session of Commissioners Court. No action out of executive session, but we tabled 7-1 and 7-2. We're going back to 7-1 and 7-2. And I've already read them, so I'm not gonna read them again, but 7-1 is the Architect Services Kirksey, and Mike Gafford has signed off on it. Move, according to Dwayne, who talked to us. So I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
By Commissioner Hammond, second. Dagley. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 7-2, the same.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Dagley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And further come full court at 12:39, we are adjourned. Get it, you do it.